Hello and welcome to this video and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, which you probably are new here because I have very few videos up if you are watching this right around when I have posted this, but hello and welcome to Shuffle Mode. I am Shelby and today we are going to be reviewing Lady Gaga's newest album, Chromatica. So I want to talk about Chromatica because it was released May 29th, so yes, it's been a few weeks, but I didn't have a channel then, and considering everything that's going on in 2020, it's probably going to be one of the bigger album releases, and also very anticipated. Lady Gaga's last album was like her own album. Yes, she was on A Star Is Born soundtrack in 2018, but her last album was Joanne, and Joanne is very, very different from what a typical Lady Gaga album sounded like. The reason why I think it's exciting that Chromatica was released now 4 years later is because even before the album came out, it was very apparent from the first single that Lady Gaga was back to making some serious pop music. And not only was she back to making pop music, I think this album was absolutely perfectly timed to be released when it was being released. Now, granted, she didn't know that, 2020 was going to have a pandemic, but it's such a fun album, and I think it's exactly what we needed. Now, I'm being pretty vague, so let's dig in a little bit deeper, talk about Chromatica and why I personally think that this was the album that Lady Gaga really needed in her career at this point. So Chromatica is sectioned into 3 different parts when you listen to the album, if you listen to it straight all the way through. And when I heard the opening number, Alice, immediately, let's backtrack a little bit. So before Chromatica was even released, she had 2 singles, Stupid Love and Rain on Me. Rain on Me I thought was going to break the internet because she teamed up with Ariana Grande, who is so popular at this time. And I think that that was a genius pairing. They both are powerhouse vocalists in different ways, and I love that they came together for just like this ultimate dance track. But also, it's a dance track, but lyrically it is a lot deeper because it's not about like, oh, hooking up in a club or something, which once again, that music's totally fine, but this is all about being sad but letting it happen because you're grateful for being alive. So I just think it was a great, beautiful combination. It's like a sad, rejoiceful song, like a sad but powerful song, and it just made everyone go crazy. Then Stupid Love, her very first single, that was the most in-your-face sign of, hey guys, Joanne was fun, but now I am going to make a dance album again. Enjoy. But it's so catchy. It's all so catchy. Okay, now that we've talked about the singles, now I can talk about when I first heard Alice. So when I listened to Chromatica, I knew I wanted to listen to it just like I do with any album I listen to the first time. I start from beginning to end. I don't want to skip around. I want to hear exactly how it's meant to be heard. And Alice just made me smile so much. Honestly, just from even hearing Alice and knowing those first 2 singles, immediately I just thought, first of all, Lady Gaga is here to remind everyone what a true pop music queen looks like, because really we needed that. We needed to be reminded, okay guys, this is what genuine good pop music looks like. But also, I couldn't help but immediately thinking, just after hearing 3 songs, that's all it took, I couldn't help but automatically thinking, this is the 2020 version of Born This Way. Because Born This Way came out in 2011, that album, and this was like, what does an album like Born This Way look like in today's world? It's Chromatica. That's what it is. It's Chromatica. Alice, Stupid Love, Rain on Me. The next song on the album is Free Woman, and just like the first 3, it is incredibly catchy. It sounds like something you could hear in any club whenever clubs open up again. But like Rain on Me, Lady Gaga lyrically made sure Free Woman was about rejoicing in that you don't need anyone else in your life. You are free even when it's just yourself. This album is really, the general theme of this album is celebrating, even if you may be in pain, just celebrating that you're still alive and finding strength in picking yourself up. And I love whenever a good, catchy, well-produced, well-executed pop album can also have deeper meaning to it than just, oh, this sounds fun. Yes, the melodies might catch you first and the melodies might hook you, but then you dig in and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this song's got meaning to it. So one song in particular on Chromatica that really reminded me of like early days Lady Gaga was 911. Just the style of the song and how she sings it. I'm like, oh whoa, this is like old school Lady Gaga. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that, but that's just kind of what I immediately thought of. I'm talking like pre-art pop Lady Gaga, more like The Fame. Plastic Doll lyrically is kind of like that typical pop star song, which I don't say typical, I mean it's still very well produced and it's a good song, but Plastic Doll lyrically is that type of song that you've heard from many other artists about being essentially what she is, a plastic doll, where you have what the media thinks you are, what people think you are, especially as a celebrity, how you're portrayed and how you are, how she feels that she is expected to always be on and be that person that she's created. But as we all know, Lady Gaga, she is so like free. She's free. She changes who she wants to be depending on where she's at in her life, just like any of us should. I also think one thing about this album, I like who she has had collaborations with. I feel like she was very strategic by having it be Ariana Grande, Blackpink, and my favorite artist of all time, Elton John. I think they were smart collaborations. She's pulling to different audiences, and typically when artists do collaborate, it's just a really good opportunity for different fan bases to get to know other artists' music. Now, does that mean that, you know, some of Elton John's fans who are maybe the same age as Elton are gonna listen to Lady Gaga? I don't know. I think they should. Why not? I listen to all of Elton John's albums and I also listen to Lady Gaga, so if they know what's good for them, they would, but who knows? I really enjoy Enigma from the album as well. I think it's a fun love song and I think it's just a little unique. Enigma is like got a different type of beat to it and it has some unexpected instruments that I just don't know if you would expect to hear those on this album compared to everything else. Sign from Above with Elton John. I'm so happy it exists. Apparently I just am so excited. I'm knocking things over. Okay, well, here's one thing. I love when Elton collaborates with present day artists, but I also love when anyone kind of from maybe the mid 20th century, well, more like mid to late 20th century, collaborate with younger artists. I think it's a really good way to just not even so much about staying relevant, because I don't think Elton John has that problem at all, but it's more so just good to see different eras of music colliding, and that's what I really enjoy. And fun fact for you all, if you didn't know, Lady Gaga is actually the godmother to Elton John's 2 sons. Could you imagine, like, oh, my dad is Elton John and my godmother is Lady Gaga? The reason why I think Chromatica was so necessary and so needed was because, one, Lady Gaga has been in the game for over a decade at this point, and she is proving to be one of those artists that can still keep the fan base and still keep the popularity even though time has passed. And she also isn't afraid to do what she wants to do. I mean, she created an album with Tony Bennett, and then Joanne and A Star Is Born. Those couple years were a totally different side of Lady Gaga. And she just decided, you know, like people probably maybe assumed or thought if they weren't into the Joanne period, or if they didn't really know what was going on, or if that was her new thing now, she just came back and was like, no, I still want to make dance and pop music. I can still do that too, but why can't I do whatever I want to do? I think Chromatica is basically letting the world know that even though she had a few years where she was discovering herself musically in a totally different way, that she was ready to come back and remind everyone what a true pop queen looks like, and also how you make a great, well executed, well produced dance pop album that maybe has some retro vibes but definitely is her own and doesn't sound like anyone else's at the time. So she, in my opinion, Chromatica, she is great, obviously, but in my opinion, I give Chromatica an A, because I think that it was just the most perfect comeback dance album. I'm not saying Lady Gaga needed a comeback, but to pop and dance music, this was the perfect type of album. And I want this pandemic to be over so she can go on tour with it, because I would love to see this concert. I think it would be amazing. Let me know in the comments what you think of Chromatica, or what you like about it, what songs are your favorite, or in general, if you enjoyed this album, or if you wish Lady Gaga would have made something like, say, Joanne again. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. I would really love that. That'd be really cool. And even better, if you like this video, or if you like music inspired videos, reviews, rankings, whatever it may be, go ahead and hit subscribe to this channel, because that's what this channel is all about. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I still am terrible at ending videos. Bye.